Hello and welcome back. So today we have some really cool news for Witchfire, and it is receiving the biggest update it's received so far. They advertised that, but I truly believe them. This seems to be a huge update. So just a bare minimum of what they're adding, we're getting a new level that's going to be really cool. We're getting a bunch of new enemy types, a bunch of new weapons, but they're also redesigning stuff like the Nosis system, and the stat system is getting a complete overhaul, and we're even getting a workshop update. So there's a lot of stuff to cover. I'm going to just cover the big points. If you're interested in seeing any of the little details, feel free to go to the Astronauts website and read through all this stuff yourself. So to get started, the new level is going to be... Alright, so the new level that we're getting is going to be the Blighted Town. Now, we don't have a ton of information on it. They released a little bit of a video on YouTube that you can go and watch, and it just kind of shows some of the concept of it. You kind of walk down a little town, but it looks to be kind of like a, similar in design to the castle map. So it's going to be interesting to see. And they even gave us a little spoiler about saying that it is not going to be a walk in the park. It won't be easy even for, the hardcore fan base. So that's pretty exciting stuff. We're getting a Rosary, which is going to be a system to help further customize your builds, and it'll just be a little stuff to start with. That's what they said, is it'll be basic stuff, and then maybe down the way they'll take it in a different direction, maybe make it more impactful. But for right now, it has things like 10% more stamina, health, you get a little bit more dash distance, and it goes all the way up to, like, certain elements just won't affect you. So it's just another way to further customize your builds. It's always a good thing. We're getting the Workshop 2.0, like I mentioned. And how that works is the mirror in the hematorium, instead of it being semi-random, which it's not random right now, it is a set system, but if it's your first time playing, it absolutely seems random. Whenever you research a medium range weapon and you get a random one instead of maybe the one you were wanting. So they're redesigning that so you can go in there, click on like medium range, and it'll pull up a list of all the medium range weapons, and you can select which one you want to research. Now, they did mention that will have certain things locked behind the Nosis system. So say like you wanted the Midas, for instance, it may be locked behind Nosis 2. And so that's kind of how they're going to be pushing people to increase their Nosis level, which is, it's great stuff. Speaking of Nosis, where they aren't necessarily redesigning it, they're adding 2 more levels and rebalancing the difficulty. So if you're used to Nosis 4, they said that Nosis 6 now will be similar to Nosis 4, if not just a touch harder than Nosis 4 is right now. But that opens up a lot of possibilities for there to be, even more locked doors, even more hidden treasures, maybe those random challenges like the chests laying around, and possible mini bosses and whatnot. So very, very good stuff there. Now, they did tease... before I get into that, there's the stat redesign, which this is looking really cool. So stats, if you don't know, if you haven't played Witchfire, it has pretty basic stats. You have stuff like vigor and endurance, or I think it's vitality and endurance, and so on, witchery, luck. And they kind of there's not much build variety because there's no stat requirements on anything, and so on. But now it seems that they're really wanting to push in the direction of creating actual builds, give you more of a reason to create other, separate characters similar to like Soulsborne. So now they're changing all the stats to flesh, blood, mind, witchery, arsenal, and faith. And they did say, those are the upgradable stats, but your actual character sheet stats are stuff like health, resistance, melee recharge, stamina, mobility, and vigor, and so on and so forth. So each of those stats, like flesh for instance, just as an example, upgrading flesh will boost stats like health, elemental resistance, melee recharge, and vigor. And even divine intervention, whatever that is. I guess that's probably like their new luck stat. But yes, so each stat you level up will level up multiple stats on your character sheet. So there's gonna be even more customizability. You won't necessarily be a jack of all trades, but you could hyper specialize into something and become an absolute monster. So that's going to be a lot of fun to check out. And if you were wondering, you're not going to have to start a new character to implement the new stats. Whenever this update releases at the end of the month, your old character will get an item that'll let you reset all your stats. So it'll let you respec, and then you'll level up all the stats, the new stats that you want. So we went over the stats and everything, the new region. We are getting some new weapons. We are getting a Nemesis lever action rifle, which I can only speculate as to what it will do. I know the tooltip said something along the lines of it's for those that love the thrill of the hunt. It kind of makes it sound like it's going to be a much more aggressive style rifle, which will be a lot of fun. And then I believe the other one was called the Oculus, and it's a sniper rifle similar to the Hellstorm, but it will allow you to see and shoot enemies through walls. Now that's just the first Mysterium, so that's going to be a lot of fun to check out and test, and I'm curious to see what the community does with these weapons. We did also get some new enemy types. There's going to be a new major enemy similar to what we already have, you know, the grenade launching guys. It'll be a big dude in the heavy armor, but now he's got a executioner axe, and that's gonna be scary as shit to deal with. I hope that they run real fast, and I want it to be just pure chaos. That would be so much fun, I think. And then the other one is, let me see if I can find what she was called. I think this is the post that mentioned her. Yes. So this is the townswoman, and it says that she's forever caught between forms, forever not one of us and not one of them. I don't know what that means, but she has a really cool design. Kind of a short, stocky lady with like 3-foot long fingers. She looks a lot like a Baba Yaga or something, dude. She looks so dope. I can't wait to fight her. Now, I don't know if she's gonna be a major or a minor enemy, but either way, I'm stoked. I'm all for it. So that is all the big like meat and potatoes of these updates. Like I said, I left out a couple small details, and if you want to read up on everything, just go to their website and read through. There's about 4 or 5 different posts talking about this coming update. So that's all from me. If you enjoyed, then like and subscribe. If you didn't, then don't. Either way it goes though, have yourself a very fine day.